Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 251 based on novel. So let's start. The Thunder Spirit was very proud, but then it suddenly saw Wang Lin's gaze. This gaze penetrated its body and landed on its Thunder Soul. A powerful force came from the inheritance inside its soul, swept across its body. It was scared out of its wits as it let out a cry, and its body trembled greatly. The body that was sweeping toward Wang Lin actually stopped and retreated. It did all of this by instinct, as if there was a powerful force that had made it had to retreat. Wang Lin closed his eyes and no longer paid any attention to the Thunder Spirit. He could vaguely feel that this Thunder Spirit was only a small portion of its soul. The real Thunder Spirit from the Thunder Celestial Realm would not be like this. The Thunder Spirit's body retreated and its eyes became filled with terror. The Thunder Spirit had long awakened its intelligence. Originally, it didn't consider any of the cultivators a threat, but at that moment, it felt like it had just met its ancestor. This feeling came from its Thunder Soul. It was a memory that had been engraved in its soul and pressed down for generations before it was born. During ancient times, the heavens gave thunder dragons the power of thunder. The thunder dragons were born from this. They were born from thunder and were considered the spirits of all thunder. All the thunder in the heavens and earth belonged to the thunder dragons. However, thunder dragons were not immortal. They were born from thunder, and when they died, they would turn into thunder spirits and return back into the void. Then they would once more return to the force of thunder. However, there once was a thunder spirit like this in the Thunder Celestial Realm. The Celestials had used some unknown method on it to make it not dissipate, and then made it become the guardian beast of the Thunder Celestial Realm. The Thunder Spirit in the Thunder Celestial Temple was a piece that was split off from the Thunder Spirit guarding the Thunder Celestial Realm. When it saw Wang Lin, it felt a shock it never felt before. It was fortunate that after Wang Lin closed his eyes, the majesty of the ancient Thunder Dragon was no longer being released. Wang Lin was once again focused on absorbing thunder. The Thunder Spirit relaxed. It was filled with anger as it charged toward the other cultivators. Shu Ting's eyes lit up like a torch inside the black mist when he saw all of this. His mind trembled violently and couldn't believe what he had seen. This Shu Mu was really too incredible. This? How can it be? He only looked at the Thunder Spirit and the Thunder Spirit was terrified. And from it looks of it, it was like a junior saw a senior from their family. Shen Gonghu also noticed this. His eyes were filled with fanaticism and he couldn't help but remember when he first met Wang Lin. He first met Wang Lin in a thunder lake. He could never forget that figure with the flowing black hair that walked out from the thunder lake, the gaze that made it feel like his entire body was going to collapse. It was something he could never forget. My lord! The fanaticism in Shen Gonghu's eyes increased. Zhong Konglai gasped as he looked at Wang Lin. He remembered his battle with Shen Gonghu at the Thunder Lake. It was under Wang Lin's guidance that Shen Gonghu seemed to vaguely gain a hold of the laws of thunder. Not only them, but the surrounding cultivators also noticed this. Their minds trembled and their eyes were filled with shock. Wang Lin turned a blind eye to all of this. As he sat there, he began grasping the laws of thunder. He gradually became immersed and forgot about his surroundings. On the praying mat, Qing Shui's eyes narrowed and he revealed a faint smile. On the side, Master Flames Park was startled for a moment before he revealed a bitter smile. He had forgotten that without his help, this Shu Mu had almost cultivated into a thunder spirit. Not only did this earth trial provide no difficulty for Shu Mu, it would be like Shu Mu was stepping into his own backyard. Forget it. I'll consider it a compensation for borrowing his thunder beast and to repair my relationship with Qing Shui from before. Master Flames Park wryly smiled, but didn't stop Wang Lin. As for the thunder spirit, after being frightened by Wang Lin, it was like a child that was scolded by its elder. It let out a roar and rushed toward the other cultivators to vent its anger. Its first target was 11 Zifeng's cousin, the blue-robed handsome young man. His hands formed a seal and 3 green jades floated before him. All the thunder targeted at him was absorbed by the 3 jades. The Thunder Spirit let out a roar and directly charged at him. The roar of the Thunder Spirit carried with it a powerful impact. The blue-robed man's expression changed and he wanted to retreat, but in the end, he clenched his teeth. In an instant, the Thunder Spirit's body suddenly crashed into the blue-robed man. An earth-shattering sound that caused all the thunder inside the Thunder Lake to scatter echoed. The three jades immediately shattered into countless dust particles. The blue-robed man coughed out a large mouthful of blood and immediately retreated. However, the Thunder Spirit was angry and didn't hold back. It chased after the blue-robed man with its mouth open while spewing out endless thunder. The blue-robed man retreated very fast and quickly left the Thunder Lake. His expression was gloomy and he viciously stared at the Thunder Spirit as it charged toward the next person. The drum beat echoed in the air. The 16th beat, the 17th beat, and when the 18th beat echoed, the Thunder Spirit went mad. It expelled nearly all the cultivators within the square. The Thunder Spirit moved as it roared. This time its target was Shengonghu and Zhongkonglai. The two of them revealed wry smiles and quickly retreated to avoid this Thunder Spirit that had gone crazy. Even the big-headed boy and the six-fingered cultivator decided to leave on the 19th beat. They were unwilling to provoke the obviously raging Thunder Spirit. At this moment, only two people remained in the Thunder Lake. The black mist around Shu Ting was very dense. The black mist covered everything within 30 feet of him and the thunder couldn't go inside it. Wang Lin sat calmly 1,000 feet opposite of Shu Ting. He calmly sat there with his eyes closed while thunder surrounded his body. Wang Lin's long hair moved without any wind. He had the temperament of a thunder celestial. Shu Ting secretly complained in his heart. The thunder was getting more and more powerful, to the point where he could barely hold on. It was just that when he saw Wang Lin, he felt extremely frustrated. How can he resist for such a long time? I have to put in so much effort to barely hold on, but he looks extremely casual, without any sign of discomfort. I refuse to yield. Shu Ting's expression became even more fierce and more black gas came from between his eyebrows. The Thunder Spirit suddenly turned around. It didn't dare to provoke Wang Lin, so it stared at Shu Ting. It let out a roar and charged out. As it moved, the entire Thunder Lake flashed violently and entered the Thunder Spirit, causing it to be filled with the pressure of ancient thunder. It charged out with its mouth open and attempted to devour Shu Ting. The black mist around Shu Ting dissipated like crazy. His turn was pale and he had to retreat. After Shu Ting landed outside the Thunder Lake, he immediately let out a roar. I'm not willing to yield. This Shu Mu must be cheating. The Thunder Spirit looked at Shu Ting before turning to Wang Lin. It let out a roar but didn't dare to get near. It felt an aura from Wang Lin that made it tremble. Wang Lin opened his eyes. At the moment he opened his eyes, two bolts of thunder shot out. He stood up and pondered for a moment. Then he began walking toward the center of the Thunder Lake under the gazes of everyone present. Before, he vaguely felt like he had grasped something. Now that he reached the center, he immediately sat down in the lotus position and began to cultivate. This scene stunned all the surrounding cultivators. This Shu Mu isn't being affected by this thunder and is also extremely calm. What cultivation method does he cultivate? That Thunder Spirit seemed to dread Shu Mu. This matter is very strange. This Shu Mu is not simple. Shu Ting gasped. He looked for a long time before turning around and leaving. He knew that this earth trial was nothing for Shu Mu and that Shu Mu was not the same as himself. The beat of the drum didn't stop. As the drum continued to beat, Wang Lin remained motionless. The Thunder Spirit moved around Wang Lin and its gaze became even more ferocious. Something inside its soul made it want to devour Wang Lin more and more. In the end, it was enough to fill its mind. Devour him and you will be able to turn into a thunder dragon. It was as if there was a voice roaring like crazy inside the soul of the Thunder Spirit. This voice was filled with greed. This greed stimulated the Thunder Spirit enough for its body to tremble. It continued to roar as all the thunder in the square began to gather on its body. More and more thunder gathered, and in the end it let out a roar and rushed out. The moment it moved, all the thunder rumbled endlessly. When the thunder gathered on the thunder spirit, cracks appeared on surface of the square. Roar! The snake-shaped thunder spirit rushed out with a monstrous greed. It charged toward Wang Lin with the determination to turn into a dragon. It was as if the entire Thunder Lake had been pulled into this charge. An unimaginable force suddenly closed in on Wang Lin. Just at this moment, a bolt of thunder flashed between Wang Lin's eyebrows and his ancient Thunder Dragon origin soul rushed out. The ancient Thunder Dragons were the messengers of all the thunder under the heavens. Wang Lin hadn't fully integrated with it, but he still received great benefits. Once he completely merges with the ancient Thunder Dragon, all thunder in the world will be in the palm of his hands. The moment the ancient Thunder Dragon appeared, the Thunder Spirit's body trembled violently. An aura that made it tremble and unable to resist came from Wang Lin's origin soul. This feeling came from the inheritance in his soul. It could devour all cultivators, but when facing the aura of its ancestor, it didn't have any courage. However, the mad roar from its soul became even more intense. Devour him and you will be able to turn into a Thunder Dragon. Wang Lin's ancient Thunder Dragon origin soul let out a roar and directly tried to devour the Thunder Spirit. The Thunder Spirit's body trembled violently. The voice coming from its soul almost drove it crazy as it let out a roar and attempted to devour Wang Lin. The clash between the ancient Thunder Dragon and the Thunder Spirit set off a huge wave inside the Thunder Lake. This released an unprecedented thunder rumble. Wang Lin's ancient Thunder Dragon origin soul and the Thunder Spirit continued to devour each other. This kind of devour was a fusion of thunder. Although the Thunder Spirit was strong, it wasn't complete. Although the ancient Thunder Dragon was strong, Wang Lin hadn't completely fused with it. At this moment, they were evenly matched. With an angry roar, Wang Lin's ancient Thunder Dragon origin soul devoured half of the Thunder Spirit. The Thunder Spirit struggled and went crazy as it began its counter-devour. The ancient Thunder Dragon formed by Wang Lin's origin soul revealed a cold gaze. This cold gaze disregarded the Thunder Spirit and Wang Lin's origin soul opened its mouth to devour once more. Wang Lin's origin soul still possessed the characteristics of a soul devourer from back then. After fusing with the ancient Thunder Dragon, it became even more powerful. Also, he had cultivated for over 1,000 years, so his ruthlessness caused his origin soul to become extremely vicious. As it continued to devour, it managed to put half of the Thunder Spirit's body into its mouth and directly crushed it. The snake-shaped Thunder Spirit let out a miserable groan and quickly retreated with only half of its body. Its eyes were filled with madness. As it roared, even more thunder came out from underground as if there was an even more powerful source of thunder under the square. The roars turned into the thunder from the heavens. They caused a series of impacts and formed powerful shock waves. As the rumbles continued, a powerful storm was created and suddenly spread out. A large amount of stones collapsed and were pushed back. A lot of dust was kicked up, but the moment the dust launched into the air, it disintegrated. Even the shattered stones were surrounded by the thunder and immediately collapsed. In the blink of an eye, aside from the stone Wang Lin was sitting on, all the other stones on the square had collapsed. However, the storm didn't stop there, it spread out once more. During this process, a powerful force of thunder hidden underground rushed out toward the Thunder Spirit. It looked as if divine retribution had descended on the Thunder Celestial Temple. The expressions of all the surrounding cultivators changed and they quickly retreated. Even some of the ancestors' eyes lit up. As the storm spread out once more, old monsters on the praying mats all narrowed their eyes. Master Flamespark revealed a wry smile before raising his right hand and pressing down. There was a rumble and the storm that was rushing out disappeared. At this moment, the endless thunder was rushing into the Thunder Spirit. Wang Lin's ancient Thunder Dragon origin soul that had devoured half of the Thunder Spirit suddenly felt an urge. Wang Lin had never had this kind of urge. However, as the half the Thunder Spirit he devoured turned into endless thunder inside his origin soul, he could no longer endure this urge. It was as if there was a roar that he couldn't keep inside himself anymore. This was the first roar of thunder had Wang Lin released since obtaining the ancient Thunder Dragon origin soul. It was as if this roar had penetrated the Thunder Celestial Temple and became a permanent existence in the world as the sound of thunder. At this moment, this sound was the sound of thunder, and all thunder must obey it. The reason why the ancient thunder dragon can control thunder was due to his roar. Before, Wang Lin hadn't fused with the ancient thunder dragon enough to use this roar and thus couldn't truly exercise his control over thunder. However, after devouring half of the thunder spirit, he was finally able to release this roar. Roar? With one roar, the heavens and earth changed colors. All the thunderbolts that were gathering toward the thunder spirit trembled and then changed directions. It was as if they were on a pilgrimage as they all rushed toward Wang Lin's ancient thunder dragon origin soul. The expressions of all the surrounding cultivators changed completely. Even the old monsters on the praying mats were shocked. Even Blood God's eyes lit up and turned cold. For the first time, Qing Shui laughed and said, "Good. Ancient thunder dragon origin soul." A shock appeared in Master Flamespark's eyes and a blue vein bulged on his face. He wanted to stand up to stop this, but after hesitating for a bit, he only let out a sigh. With Qing Shui here, he had no reason to interfere with Wang Lin devouring the thunder spirit. Otherwise, if he were to interrupt such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Qing Shui would definitely be enraged. If the old monsters were like this, then there was no need to talk about the others. As Xu Ting watched all of this, a huge wave set off in his heart. He began to silently ponder. It is best not to provoke him unless it is absolutely necessary. Shen Gonghu's eyes were filled with excitement. He could no longer suppress it, and the fantasism in his eyes toward Wang Lin became even stronger. Zhong Konglai was also startled for a moment. For the first time, his eyes were also filled with fantasism and respect like Shen Gonghu's. As for the big-headed boy and the six-fingered cultivator, their minds trembled and their eyes filled with terror. They made up their minds that this Xu Mu shouldn't be easily provoked. This person dared to devour a thunder spirit and had taken command of the entire Thunder Lake with one roar. This spell made their scalps tingle. Not only did the Thunder Lake worship Wang Lin, but even the thunder spirit began trembling violently before this roar that sounded like thunder from the heavens. There was a power that was forcing it to worship and yield. This was the power of the ancient thunder dragon. Endless thunderbolts entered Wang Lin's origin soul. His origin soul charged out, and this time the remaining half of the thunder spirit didn't dare to resist and allowed itself to be devoured by Wang Lin. Previously, the fusion between Wang Lin and the ancient thunder dragon was only 1/5 complete. However, after devouring the thunder spirit and absorbing the thunder lake, it was as if a storm was set off inside his body. Endless rumbles echoed as the fusion between Wang Lin's origin soul and the ancient thunder dragon reached nearly 50%. His ancient thunder dragon origin soul immediately expanded to over 1,000 feet long and formed a powerful pressure. Its cold gaze swept the area before it withdrew to between Wang Lin's eyebrows. Then all the thunder remaining in the square quickly gathered toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin opened his eyes under the endless rumbles and thunder surrounded his body. A feeling of absolute control over thunder appeared in his heart. After standing up, the area surrounding Wang Lin was in ruins and there was no trace of thunder left. Master Flamespark's expression was extremely ugly and his heart ached. He looked at Wang Lin and was unable to say a word for a long time. Finally, he could only let out a long sigh. The surroundings were completely silent. This silence was exactly the same as when Qing Shui killed Russell. This video will end here.